Hello everybody and welcome to another video, and today we are revisiting Skynd with their new track Columbine, which they released yesterday. Now I was supposed to record this video yesterday, but certain personal circumstances prevented me from doing so, unfortunately. Now, as previously mentioned, the track is called Columbine, covering obviously the Columbine school massacre that occurred in April of 1999. This track features the additional vocals of an artist by the name of Billaber, someone I've never heard of before, so I had to do a little bit of research, and I have to say the guy has a very unique look. Now, what little information I did find about him is the guy's name is James McClary, born January 16th, 1993. Is an American rapper from Buffalo, New York, and is best known for his breakthrough songs Creeping and Lurking and Hallelujah. And apparently he's been going on around since 2014. But that's all I could really find about the guy. So this should be interesting. Now, like I said, the song is called Columbine. I do have some lyrics up here, but they are fan-submitted lyrics, so I don't know if they're going to be 100% accurate. I'll say that now. But to my knowledge, they are fairly close. So we'll jump to the song and see what we think. So, Columbine by Skynd. Let's have a look. Well, there you go, Columbine by Skynd. And that video, it's quite different to a lot of their previous ones. It's a lot more subdued in its own way, you know, it's not quite as spectacular in spectacle, you know, as their usual videos, but it still manages to perfectly convey the sort of calm before the storm and then the sort of frantic energy that sort of occurred during the attack. So, you know, a pretty impressive video. Now, I think pretty much everybody knows about the Columbine school shooting, but we'll just briefly talk about it anyway. The Columbine school shooting occurred on April 20th in 1999 by two 12th grade students, Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold. They had both apparently been planning it for around about a year and wanted to be responsible for the most deaths in US history. So, you know, that they had full intent going into this thing. During the attack, 12 students and one teacher were killed, 10 of which were actually killed in the library, which is probably why the main focus of the music video was concentrated in there. 21 others suffered various degrees of injury. In addition to the shooting, two homemade bombs had been set up in the cafeteria, but failed to detonate. Their cars had also been turned into bombs, but likewise also failed to detonate. And a further two bombs were placed in another location away from the school to serve as a diversion to like the police and emergency services, so they wouldn't know what was going on at the school. But only one of those bombs detonated, and even then it didn't fully detonate. So, you know, it was quite a thing. I mean, this was all over the news for a very long time, and this is another one of those situations that actually impacted so many different facets of society. But this is another one of those incidents that happened where they tried to blame heavy metal music for no other reason than the fact that the people who committed the crime listened to heavy metal music, apparently, and that's something that's always annoyed me, you know, because, you know, if people listen to like rap or hip hop or One Direction, you know, they don't blame them for the reason a school gets shot up, but if they listen to heavy metal, as we've discovered on this channel, heavy metal isn't all about murder, demons, sacrifice and stuff like that. It's not like that. As you know, we've discussed so many songs on this channel, you know, we know that heavy metal has a much deeper meaning to their songs. But heavy metal is always a target when this sort of thing happens. But this did impact many other facets of life as well. And, you know, it brought into question the gun laws in America, which I still think are absolutely ridiculous. Since the Columbine shooting happened, there have been 166 mass shootings in the United States. 166 mass shootings in 20 years. And that's just the mass shootings. We're not talking about like other gun crimes that have happened. That is the mass shootings. That is something like 8.3 mass shootings per year in America. And people are still thinking that they're entitled to hold guns and it makes them safe. Clearly, you know. Anyway, the song itself, as I said, these were fan-submitted lyrics, so they may not be entirely accurate, but having listened to the song and read the lyrics, they do seem pretty close. So if there are any mistakes, I do apologise. I'm just doing the best with what materials I have. And it goes. Public school battlegrounds. Two students come around like modded soldiers, packing heat. Inside a shotgun, gun click to the beat. Down, we shoot you down. We come around. And when we blow off that trigger, get down. We shoot you down. We come around. The gun goes click. And then they do the sound of a gun reloading. And then it comes to that, if you can call it a chorus, where she goes rat-a-ta-ta, rat-a-ta-ta-ta, 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 etc. And then in comes Bill Saber with his bit. He's got quite a deep and pretty intense voice, and it suits the song really, really well, I thought. It says, "Get up, ready, mark, shoot. How many victims is we about to lose? Get up, ready, mark, shoot. How many victims? How many victims? Get up, ready, mark, shoot. How many victims is we about to lose? Get up, ready, mark, shoot. How many victims? How many victims?" And then the actual music in the song at this point sort of took on I don't know if it was exactly this point, but it was around about this time where the girl was actually sitting at the table in the library. The music very subtly got a lot more intense. It was noticeable, but it was also very subtle. It wasn't like really in your face, sort of like boom intensity. It was really quite subtle, and I really, really liked the way they did that. It sounded absolutely brilliant. And the song carried on. Mob Vendetta, Sick and Fame, Bombs and Bullets, It's Just a Game We Play, Baby Soldiers, Baseball Field, Inside a Shotgun, Gun Click to the Beat, Down, We Shoot You Down, We Come Around, and when we blow off that trigger, get down, we shoot you down, we come around, the gun goes click, da 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 da, and then she goes into the chorus, rat-a-ta-ta, rat-a-ta-ta-ta-ta, rat-a-ta-ta, yes, etc. Then Bill Saber comes in again with that, "Get up, ready, mark, shoot. How many victims is we about to lose? Get up, ready, mark, shoot. How many victims? How many victims?" And then she does that rat-a-ta-ta, rat-a-ta-ta-ta thing, but she puts a slightly different emphasis on the way she says it. And then there's this sort of little pause, and then she screams, "Have fun." And then we go back into the Bill Saber bit, "Get up, ready, mark, shoot. How many victims is we about to lose? Get up, ready, mark, shoot. How many victims? How many victims?" And she carries on with her rat-a-ta-ta, rat-a-ta-ta-ta, rat-a-ta-ta-ta-ta, rat-a-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta thing. So it was a very, very good song. I don't know if I'd say it was one of their strongest ones, but it was still a very, very good track. I really enjoyed it. And like I said, the video isn't as sort of crazy as they usually... Well, not crazy, that's not the word I want to be. It's not quite the same level as their other videos, but it works well for the song. In fact, the actual band barely appear in this video, which is very unusual for their videos, because they tend to be... In all of the videos so far, they've sort of featured front and centre, but there's not much of them in this video at all. So, it's been quite different, and, I like it. It's good. It's a good song, covering, once again, another one of their subjects. And this is... At this point, Elisa Lam still sort of sticks out as the only odd song of theirs, because all of their songs, except for Elisa Lam, have been about murderers, serial killers, etc. And Elisa Lam is the only one that's a song about a victim. So, that may change. I know they have another song, they performed another song live, and there's videos of that on YouTube somewhere, but I'm not covering that track until they bring the official video out. I can't remember what it's called either, but we know there's at least another song floating around somewhere that we've yet to cover. But no, I like that. It was good. It was interesting, and it was different to their previous stuff. So yes, interesting. I like it. This band are proving to be brilliant every single time at the moment. So yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. So we'll leave that as it is for the time being. Now, if anybody would like to suggest a track for me to react to, then please do so by all means. You can drop a comment in the comment section below, or message me on my Facebook or my Instagram, or even through my Patreon, where you could also help to support this channel, which would be of a great help to me. There is an option within Patreon where you can get your suggestion jumped to the front of the queue, should you so desire. There are a couple of restrictions on that, however, just to be fair to other people. And if you do suggest a track through regular means such as Facebook, Instagram or YouTube comments, do know it might take me a while to get around to your suggestions, since I do get suggested so many tracks every single day that my list grows faster than I can record the videos. But I do write down every suggestion I get, so it will get done eventually. It just might take a little while to get around to it. Also, Metalhead reacts as a proud supporter of the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, a British-based charity whose main goal is to put an end to hate crimes, mainly those involving people of the alternative culture, but, you know, they essentially want to put an end to all hate crimes. But hate crimes against the alternative culture is how their foundation came into being, and it's sort of what made them push forward with this. And it's something I believe in very, very strongly, because it's something I've had to deal with personally myself. It's something many of my friends and family have had to deal with, and this is people of the alternative culture being violently attacked just purely for the fact that they are part of the alternative culture. And, you know, we're not talking about insults being thrown across the street or, you know, being shoulder rammed as you're walking down the road. We're talking about proper violent crimes where people are getting brutally attacked, violently beaten, to the point of hospitalisation, where people are getting hospitalised with broken limbs and sometimes even more life-threatening injuries. You know, and this has been going on for decades. This has been going on for bloody years, you know. But nothing ever gets done about it. Nothing's ever said about it, you know. There's never been any action taken to try and prevent this. And, you know, the last time anybody heard anything about this was 13 years ago, which is when Sophie Lancaster and her boyfriend Rob Melby were violently attacked by a group of 5 or 6 people who beat them, punched them, kicked them to the ground, stamped on their heads so violently that they both ended up in comas. Now, Rob Melby, he did thankfully survive. He was in a coma for around about a week, maybe a bit longer. I can't remember exactly how long, but he thankfully survived. Sophie Lancaster, on the other hand, was in a coma for 13 days before she succumbed to her injuries, and she died as a result. You know, this young woman, she was 20 years old. And whilst her boyfriend, Rob Melby, was lying unconscious on the ground, she was trying to protect him. She was sort of, you know, over him, trying to cover him, trying to protect him, whilst people punched and kicked and stamped on her head, whilst trying to protect her unconscious boyfriend. This young woman was 20 years old, and she was beaten to death just for being a goth, just for listening to alternative music and wearing alternative clothing. And it's disgusting that this happened. And like I said, this happened 13 years ago, and it was all over the news. But we haven't heard anything similar since. But I know for a fact that similar incidents have happened since Sophie Lancaster's death. But we've never heard a damn thing about it, because no one died. And that's unacceptable. We shouldn't have to wait for someone to die before we talk about this. You know, we shouldn't have to wait for someone to lose their life before something gets done about this. It's unacceptable. You know, only a couple of years ago, a young woman in Glasgow, Scotland, was brutally beaten twice within a few minutes by another group of people, just for being a part of an alternative culture. You know, just because she was dressed like a goth and because she listened to alternative music, she was violently attacked twice in the space of 5 minutes, while she went from a venue where she was running a charity gig to her home. You know, where was that in the news? Why didn't we hear about that? You know, these types of attacks happen all the time, and nothing gets said, nothing gets done, and it's unacceptable. You know, every day we hear about all these other various hate crimes like sexism, racism, homophobia, transphobia, religious hatred, etc. You know, we hear these on a daily basis, from the most violent of these crimes, where someone is murdered because of the colour of their skin, because of their sexual orientation, or because of their religion, down to the most pathetic of these, where entitled white women are calling the police on a family of colour because they're having a picnic in a public space. You know, we hear every facet of these every single day on every media platform. But we don't hear anything about these people that are getting beaten to within an inch of their life just for liking a different kind of music. You know, it's unacceptable that this is going ignored, because by ignoring it, we're essentially letting the perpetrators of these crimes get away with it. And we cannot allow that. We can't let that keep happening. And this is what the Sophie Lancaster Foundation is all about. They want to bring more attention to the fact that this is happening, so the fact that we can put a stop to it, so that what happened to Sophie Lancaster will never happen again. You know, something that never should have happened in the first place. They don't want to see another family go through what they went through when they had to watch their daughter slowly die over the course of 2 weeks. You know, it's about time that something like this gets addressed. You know, we can't allow this sort of thing to carry on. We can't allow people to get beaten black and blue just because of the fact that they like different music. It's unacceptable that this isn't, you know, that nothing's being done and something needs to change. So if you'd like to find out more about the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, there is a link to their website in the description below. You can pop over there, find out what they're working on at the moment, find out what their main goal is, because they can explain it a lot better than I can. And if you can help them out in any small way, obviously don't feel obligated to do so, but if you can help them out in any small way, whether it be something as simple as a small donation through their website, or maybe something like one of these Sophie wristbands off their web store. You know, they have a bunch of other merch as well, you know, but if you can help them, you know, the smallest amount can make the biggest difference. And the sooner we bring more attention to this, the sooner we get more people talking about this, the sooner we can help to stamp out prejudice, hatred and intolerance everywhere. But I'm going to leave that as it is for the time being. Thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Trigger, get down. We should be